Hi, welcome to the Hidden Bookcase. This is our first episode. I'm Wendy Owens, and our guest today is Abbi Glines. This is my husband, Josh Owens. He's going to be sitting in today helping us out. So, hi, Abbi.
Hey, I'm Horace from Book Bash.
I
So
saw all the pictures. It looked amazing.
fun, but I've lost my voice. It just started coming back this morning. So a lot of
That's
yelling.
that's kind of one of the things I've noticed is your schedule is crazy.
It is crazy. Yes, I've got to wash, pack, and leave Wednesday for 20 days in the UK.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if I can get everything ready to leave by Wednesday. So
So, are you doing the event with Samantha Young? I think a few other people I saw.
To
yeah,
Edinburgh?
Yeah, Edinburgh. That's right.
right. I'm doing in Edinburgh, then I'm doing in Dublin, and then my Simon and Schuster UK have me going to 3 or 4 cities in England. So I've got to go do those before I come home.
Oh,
So
it's so hard, isn't it?
kind of is. I just want to lay in my bed and sleep in my bed for more than a week at a time.
Yeah, I could see that. So,
I miss
well,
it.
I guess let's get started with some kind of basic questions that people might have curiosity about.
Okay.
What or when did you get interested in writing? Kind of what brought you to that? And
I've known since I was a little girl that I was going to be a writer. I had a problem with lying as a child, and I just like to make stories more interesting than they were about what happened that day. So, in my mother's attempt to keep me from lying, she brought me notebooks and told me to start making the stories fictional about someone else that I wanted to tell and to write them down. So, I wrote all through high school. I did a lot of got a lot of money for college, entering contests with writing contests, and then I got married at 19 because I'm crazy and I had a baby at 21, and then I had another baby at 24, and then another baby at 27. So I wasn't able to write books. I was busy being mom. I did a lot of freelance for parenting magazines and travel magazines. It's how I made money, but I couldn't. I sat down and wrote my first book the year that my baby started kindergarten. So I had time to actually write a book.
wow. Did you start off indie or did you go straight try to go traditional?
Well, tried to go traditional and I signed with a small publisher who I'm no longer with. And I did the first book with them and I realized I should have just gone indie because nobody was really doing indie then. It wasn't something that people knew about. So my next book I decided to do indie to see what happened. And that was The Vincent Boys. And I realized from then on I could do this on my own. So I was indie for the first one, two, three, four. I think it was my fourth indie book that I ended up signing with Simon and Schuster. So
Okay. Wow. You have a lot of books too. We were kind of going through them all. Like I know a lot of them, and then there were a lot where I'm like, wow, I haven't even read this one yet. So I've got some reading ahead of me. Um,
yeah, there's a
what
lot.
is your primary genre in writing?
Romance, period. As long as I can write any romance, I'll write it. I don't really care where it falls. It's just so it's romance. So
Would you consider writing like some paranormal romance and
I did. I have the Existence series, and it is paranormal. However, as we all know, that's not selling like it used to. So until paranormal has its big thing again, which it will come back, these things come in, they make the rounds. When it comes back, I'll write paranormal again. But right now, everyone's wrapped up in contemporary. So while it's the contemporary phase, I'll write contemporary. So
So if you, so I'm kind of hearing you say like you go with the trend a little bit when you're picking what to write. Like how do you, when you finish a book, how do you pick the next book you're gonna write?
well, right now I'm finishing up a series that I've been on since my first book. The last book comes out in October for that series, and I'm still have several books left in a series that I started on accident because Fallen Too Far was supposed to be a standalone. That so did not happen. So now I've got this big series ahead of me that I wasn't expecting. I always have ideas in my head like all the time. And at RT this year, I sat in a YA panel with some authors that I was reading before I started writing and realized I want to go back there again. I love doing new adult and I love the romance, but I want to do young adult romance again. So I'm going back to that in the fall of 2015. My first one releases in a new series with Simon Pultz. So I think it's really what I'm in the mood for. YA isn't selling like new adult is. I know this, but I've got a new adult series, so I want to do something else. So it's not just about whatever the market's selling. I guess it has to be what I'm in the mood for too. So I'm hoping by fall of 2015, everyone won't just be reading new adult like it seems like they're doing right now. So.
Yeah, we're already noticing, we think that the trend is switching. We did Utopia last weekend, and even though it is focused on a lot of young adult, we saw like the fans were looking. I always sell my new adult when I go to events. They were actually there like, I didn't have enough, so I was like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, I wasn't expecting the young adult, but I think it's coming back.
Well, I think people get tired of things. I mean, they love it, but you get so much of one thing, you want to do something else next, and something new, or something that you did before, and you want to see it again, and that kind of thing. And it's that way with writers too. I think we get tired of writing the same. We want to go to a different vein sometimes and write something different. So.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to put out a zombie one, and everybody's used to romance, so I think people are going to be like, this is really off the chart for you. So, but it's what I wanted to write, so I'm writing it.
Yeah, that's why Jamie did Red Hill. She had the same urge to do something different. So it happens, and when it happens, and you have to write what you're wanting to write.
Well, Walking Dead fans, we have to put it out there. So.
Not a fan of The Walking Dead because it scares me.
That's what Amy Miles had said that. She's like, I can't watch it. So.
I tried, and I was like having nightmares and stuff, and I had to quit. It's like, oh well.
So more on, I think there's a lot of new writers out there. I know I met a lot last weekend that are just wanting to know like how people do it. And for you, do you write every day?
Yes. Most of the time I write every day. When I'm traveling, I can't write, but typically what I do is that when I have a book due, it normally just takes me a week or two because I lock myself up for that time, and I do not come out of this office that I'm in right now. Close the door. My husband throws coffee and food at me and closes the door because he's scared of me because I get real angry when I'm interrupted. And I write nonstop. Sometimes I've written for 18 hours before I've gotten up and walked out. I mean, I've gone to the restroom, obviously, but like did something else other than just write. So I actually didn't sleep. I was writing so much. That is uncommon. I normally don't go 18 hours, but I did. I get on a roll and I can't stop sometimes. So that's how I do it. I can't write a little bit here, there, and there. I kind of have to, when I start it, I have to get it out. So that's what I do that week or that 2 weeks or whatever.
And how do you approach your writing? Do you tend to outline it, or are you more the spontaneous writer?
I'm an outliner. My outlines change, and I always go off course, but I cannot sit down. I think that I'm ADD, and if I don't have something laying in front of me to keep me on track, I'll get on Facebook. I mean, I have to be like, this is what's next, or I'm going to be like, I don't know, let's go check out Facebook. I don't know what's next, so that doesn't help me. So I will keep the thing, so as soon as my mind starts going off here as to I don't know what to do next, I look down and I'm like, oh yes, this needs to happen. So that helps keep me on target.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm pretty bad. Like if I don't have an outline, I'll start 3 different stories. Yeah. So it's like, okay, now I'm writing a vampire book and I'm writing a romance book, and yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's hard to stay focused.
So where were you when you found out you hit the New York Times bestseller list? Do you remember?
Yes,
I do. Did you celebrate?
For the first time.
Well, I remember very well because the story is actually a little interesting. Fallen Too Far released, and it was staying 1s and 2s and 3s up in the top on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes. I knew I had done it. I was like, I have to have hit this list. There's no way I didn't hit this list. And so Wednesdays, you find out from your agent or publisher, and so this was self-published, so it was with my agent, if you made the New York Times list or not. Wednesday came and went, no phone call. I was like, how the heck did I not make that list? So then I decided I was going to feel sorry for myself for the next, few days or months or however long it took me to get over it. And so for 3 days, I was very depressed. I didn't, my husband kept telling me, honey, you sold a ton of this book. You should be happy. You should be proud of your accomplishment. I think it was like 40,000 copies in a week. It was ridiculous. And I kept telling him, I said, I understand that, but it's still, I feel let down. So Saturday morning, I woke up to my phone going crazy, and it was Twitter. And everyone congratulated me. And I'm like, what in the crap are they congratulating me for? And I looked, and I made it. And I was like, ah! So, I was depressed for 3 days and I shouldn't have been. And I think I cried for a week. Every time I thought about it, I would burst into tears all over again and cry. It was an emotional mess. Just in case my agent hears this, it wasn't her fault. She was out of the country and she thought someone had called me. So she feels bad about it whenever I tell this. And I tell her all the time, this is not for you to feel bad about. It's actually a good story. I'm glad it happened that way. But because it was more a surprise that Saturday. So, yeah, I cried.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was like January 30th. And that was the only thing on my bucket list or not my bucket list, but my goals list for that year that I hadn't achieved. And I found out, not January, December 30th. It was days before the new year, and I make a list every January 1st for the things I want to achieve that year. And that was the one thing I hadn't achieved. So I hit it like 2 days before I needed to start a new list. So it was cool.
Nice.
Is there one piece of advice you would give to authors who are new to the industry?
Yes. Try not to get involved in drama. Write your books and be happy about your books, and don't get mad when people review them badly, and don't talk about somebody else's books, and don't act like you're in junior high school, because a lot of times that happens and that doesn't help anybody. Focus on your books, focus on you, focus on the fact that when you do well, there's going to be people that hate that, and get over it and don't react. Just keep working on you. That's the only way to build yourself in this world. If you get wrapped up in the drama and they get mad at people, and it's just wasting your time. You're not going to.
Really good advice. What do you do when you need a break from writing?
I buy stuff. I go shopping.
I would be your best friend, Abby.
I do. I have to go shopping. Even if I don't really buy much, I just have to get out and go walk around and shop. We have a shopping center at Eastern Shore is all I have close to me. And it's in Spanish Fort, Alabama. And I go up there and I just walk around. I do buy things if I need them, and most of the time I just look just to get away from everything by myself and think. I used to go on trips when it first started and spend time with my family, but now we're always going on trips that are work-related. I now want to stay at my house and not go anywhere. And so I'm a homebody now, where I used to not be, just because I'm always gone. So now I just want to stay here and spend time with my kids, which 2 of them are teenagers, and they really could care less if I spend time with them, but the baby still cares. So.
How old's your youngest?
10. Well, she'll be 10 August 31st. So I have a few more years until she doesn't care.
I have one getting ready to turn 10. I love that age.
Yeah, it's a fun age. They're not babies anymore, so they're kind of can fend for themselves, but they still like you. And like the 15-year-olds, and they think they know everything and you know nothing. So, yeah.
Mine is assisting me next month. It's the first time she's come along with me to an event, and she is so excited. So that's I'm sure in 5 years she'll be not wanting to go ever to anything. So.
Yeah, I haven't taken mine in a while, but I took my daughter to Germany. She got to sit by me when I was signing in Berlin, so she liked that. But other than that, they don't ever get to go. If I took one, the other one would get mad. 2 girls. The son doesn't want to go anywhere near it, but
So who inspires you? It doesn't have to be an author, just anyone in general.
I don't know that a person inspires me as much as life inspires me. I can't think of that one person that I've always looked up to or inspired to be, just because I've been wanting to write since I was little. So I never really had that person that I thought, oh, I want to do that, or that's where I want to be. I just wanted to do it my way, my path, my course. I didn't want to try to live up to or achieve something someone else had achieved. I just wanted to do the best that I could do. So I guess that inspiration comes from life. I'm a people watcher and I listen to everything I hear people saying, whether I'm supposed to be listening to it or not. I'll be on an elevator, and if I'm on there, you better be careful what life story you were telling to your friend, because I'm probably listening. So I get inspiration from watching people and listening. And that's kind of where all my inspiration comes from.
Nice. If you are going to pick up a book to read, what genre would you probably pick up?
When I read, I normally pick up romance. However, unless I've been asked to read a contemporary romance or a new adult by the author, or unless one of my friends have gone on and on about a book, I do not pick up a contemporary romance or new adult. I typically go for historical, just because I never want to write something that was inspired by someone else's book. You know what I mean? So I try to stay away from everything in my vein so that if I do write something that's similar, it's not intentional, so it can't be that similar because it was my idea. I didn't get it from someone else. Now, if an author wants me to read a book and I know them, I will. Or if I have a friend who goes on and on and on about a book, I'm like, well, heck, I have to read that because this person's making it very, appealing. But other than that, I typically pick up a historical romance, which
That's
is
a good idea.
I can never write in a million years. So
I worry about that all the time, like being inspired by other people and not even realizing it. Because you
I
put
think
it in
that
the back of
happens.
your mind. Oh.
Yeah, I think that happens. So I try to stay away from it as much as possible. I read things that are so completely. Madeline Sheehan, I'm a huge fan, and she writes so completely different than me. I can never write guys like that and pull it off the way she does. So I have no, there's no temptation because I would ruin it. People would hate him. So I couldn't do it. She does it fantastic, but I can never do it. So I feel like she's safe for me to read too.
So speaking of romance, do you have a favorite book boyfriend?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple, so that's kind of hard. Um, William Fitzpatrick Darcy is my number one and will always be Mr. Darcy. However, in this day and age, in the contemporary type romances, Travis Maddox, even before Jamie and I even knew each other, I was in love with Travis Maddox. So he still kind of sits at the top of my list just because he was my first really new adult guy that I loved. And then I got to meet Jamie and I also liked the author too. So it wasn't just her guy she wrote. So I think that normally people ask me, it's either Mr. Darcy or Travis Maddox. Those are my two tops. So
Darcy, I mean,
he's hard
he
not
shows
to
up in
love.
my books. Like, he's in Do Anything, so that's just, I'll go with you on that one.
I love him. I have his quotes. I looked over because I have quotes of his hanging on my wall, things he said. I love him. So yeah.
Let's see. What's your favorite book? Do you have a favorite one? Which is so hard. I mean,
Yeah, that is hard. I will say that I think the book I've read the most would probably be I don't know. This is a toss up between two Harry Potter books. I've read the first one a lot, but I've also read Goblet of Fire a lot. So it's between those two. I've read them probably 7, 8 times. I've read them a lot. And those are my two favorite. The last one I read a couple times too, but those are my two favorites. I always think I'm going to go read the whole series again, so I'll start at the first one. So it's got read a lot, and I never have time to read the whole series again. But those would be my favorite. Any books out of that series would be my favorite books ever. So
yeah, they're freaking amazing.
I'm a
We
huge Harry Potter
have
nerd.
wands sitting on our desk right now. Like, we're those people. Like, we
I have
didn't get one wand. We had to go to Universal and get 3 wands. So,
I understand that. I have my calendar on my desk as Harry Potter scenes each day. Peel it off and there's a new scene and quote. So yeah, big Harry Potter person. So I don't think anything's ever topped that for me.
all right, let's do some goofy questions.
All right. So if you could have a superpower, and it could be anything, what would it be?
Superpower and could be anything. I would fly so I could get away from things quickly. I could just take off, and I like to be in the air, so I would fly. Yeah, that would be awesome. If I wanted to leave, I could just leave. It would be great.
Nice.
Nobody could catch me.
So with the World Cup going on right now, sports is kind of on everybody's mind. Is there a sport that you love? And if so, do you have like a team that you're rooting for?
Yes. My
I
world
thought it
revolves.
was hinted on this question, so I had to ask.
Starting August through December, hopefully January, my world revolves around college football, and it revolves around Alabama college football and SEC college football. I don't seem to, everything stops for that at all times. I don't care what's going on that day. My children know not to get married during an Alabama football game one day. It's very important that we never miss this. So it is like the holy grail around here. Everyone knows that's where Mama will be on Saturday. So yeah, that's all I care about in football.
Awesome.
I don't care about any other sport. That's just it for me. Dad raised me that way, and he did a really good job because I'm pretty bad. I was
Great.
depressed. I was depressed for I think a month. It ruined my Christmas, the Alabama Auburn game last year. It completely ruined my life. I was completely screwed up for a year. I mean, it was awful. So.
Nice.
Do we have any questions from audience members?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone's submitted anything. No. Not this time.
Okay. Do you have any? Oh, well, let's go ahead and plug it because since I'm hosting the event, I want everybody to know that Abby will be the keynote speaker at Queen City IndieCon this October in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the 24th and 5th. I hope I got that right.
Okay.
And we're really excited about having you, and I think you're going to be an awesome keynote speaker and make us all laugh a lot. So.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope I will. I'm looking forward to it though. I've not been to one of those in a while, so I'm looking forward to it. The last big event like that I went to, our reader convention event, was in Australia, so I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be fun.
I can't wait for tiaras. Like I'm shopping already.
That's so cute. That's really cute. I guess I need one of those, huh? Go find
Well,
me
maybe you'll win one because that's what the awards are. So every author who wins a category will. I'm guessing you're going to be nominated.
I don't think I nominated. Is that the one we're supposed to nominate ourselves first?
No, that's PenCon.
Okay, because I was about to say I didn't do that because I feel bad doing that, so I didn't do that. I just figured, hey, I'm good. I just vote for people when the time comes. So.
Nope, this one's going to be chosen by attendees, and everything is nominated and voted on by attendees. So, like, all I do is pick the categories.
That'd be
fun. Otherwise, I pick all my friends, and I don't want it to be, like, biased, so I'm just going to throw it out there for everybody else to do.
That makes complete sense. I get that. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Well, do you have any other questions?
So if you could pick one other person you'd like to see us interview and talk to, like one other author, who would it be?
It would be Colleen Hoover because she hates to get on video. So that would be awesome.
All those Vine videos, she hates to be on video?
Like this, yes. We had to do the news together, like a spot in the local news, the NBC News. She wouldn't talk. She made me do everything. So, she's so funny. If she can control it with her phone, she's good. But if anybody else is asking her questions, she'll do it, and she's funny. Because I made her do a Ustream video with me. So she'll do it, and she's funny. It's just that she hates to do it, but she'll do it.
All right, we'll see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, I'll put her on the list, although she'll probably tell me no.
Tell her I suggested her.
I will.
We'll send her this.
Know it all on me. I'll get a text. I can't believe you did that to me.
Well, great.
All right.
This is a lot of fun. Thanks for coming and taking your time with us.
I was glad to be here. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, till next time, everyone. Bye.